Hello, everybody. Welcome to Athena After Dark. It's Monday night, 10:01. I'm always late, at least by a minute. Uh, how are you? I hope everybody's doing good. Welcome tonight. We have a great show. I'm excited. I have world famous rock and roll goddess, Miss Jasmine Kane, on the show tonight. I'm super excited about that. She is one of my favorite musicians and she's a good friend, so I'm really lucky in that regard. All right, we're going to start out with shout outs. Hello to everybody. Um, I I'll say it nicely. Hello, Senorita Margarita. that's an inside joke for someone who's watching tonight, so we'll get that out of the way. All right. I wanted to talk about a few things I'm doing this week and coming up over the next few weeks. I am doing the Palm Beach Harley-Davidson Garage Party on Thursday, July 28th, and any ladies who want to join in, you're more than welcome if you live in the South Florida area. So come out and see us. They have some cool stuff. They have some self-defense techniques. It's really different. It's not your normal garage party. So we'll go with that. And then after that, August 6th through the 13th, I'm in Sturgis. I am going to be working with Cycle Source Magazine, doing some of the motorcycle shows. So anything you see on their calendar, please come out and check us out and stop and see me. And then we'll tell you all about the good stuff that's going on. We can go ahead and get to motorcycling and have some good, fantastic fun. So also after that, hopefully while I'm Sturgis, we're going to get to do Cycle Source. We're going to do the Baker Burnout Drags. That's going to be cool. If I get a chance to get to do the Biker Bells event and maybe at least the reception. And then after that in September, it's back, the Smoke Out. And I'm excited because I've never been to the Smoke Out, but I am going to be working there. So I'm excited for that too. So I hope everybody's planning on it. It's September 7th through the 10th, I believe. And I'll have that flyer up. I'm excited. It's going to be so much fun. It's going back to the days when we had biker fun. Biker fun's a little different than what motorcycle fun is now. So we'll talk about that probably on the next show because we got good stuff to get to here. Okay. Let's see. So, of course, we're going to do the fans' 5 good things. We want to get to that because I had some really nice people email me. I'm still trying to get the point across. You can send me pictures. You can send me video. I am almost to the point where I can get them uploaded and on there. So we're doing good with that. Barbara from Park City, Utah, she wrote in and said that she sent in her MotorMaid application, and she said thank you. I met her on the Chicks on 66 ride. Very nice woman. She rode a little bit with us through a couple towns, and I really look forward to having her in the organization. I've signed up more than a few this year, and I'm very proud because the women that I sponsored have been fantastic, and I'm looking forward to riding with them and them being sister motormaids. Danielle Werner, who was on the Chicks on 66 ride, asked me a question, and she asked me what was the benefit of being a motormaid. That one is a little difficult to explain, other than the camaraderie and the respect that is in this organization. We're one of the largest motorcycle organizations in North America. Anywhere you go, there's a sister motormaid that if you need a place to stay while you're on the road, we do events and stuff like that. They pack the house first. Everybody sleeps on a couch, a cot, whatever, in the bedroom, in the hammock, however it goes. And then after that, we book a block of rooms at a local hotel, so that we're all together. We do district events. We do convention every year. The cool part of convention is if you come to convention and you're not riding your motorcycle from where you live or where you started out, you're not allowed to register as a member. You're a guest. You have to register as a guest. You have to ride your motorcycle from your home to convention. No trailering, no none of that. There's some other cool things in the MotorMaid bylaws that make it a real unique place to be. I grew up around motorcycle clubs, and I never really fit around other women motorcyclists until I had met some of the women like Doris Bird, Gloria Struck, Betty Falls, and Dottie West, her daughter. There's a lot of women that paved the way. So it's really cool. So that's the benefit of being a motormaid, and it's lots of cool fun like we had on Route 66. Just the coolest part for me too is when we go somewhere and we do parade, we are in our full uniform and our white gloves, and we're throttling on and we're waving as we go, and it's wheel to wheel, like 500 motorcycles, and they just ride in parade. They'll go through towns, go miles, and people wait and wave, and everybody just waves. It's really cool. They're neat. It's a neat thing. So that's, Danielle, if you're watching, that's the benefit to being a motor maid, and I will respond to you in an email with that. Okay, so Milton from Albany, Georgia. He just graduated culinary school and rode his chopper to the ceremony for graduation. Awesome. That's cool, Milton. So anytime you're ready to cook us up some good food, we'll be in Sturgis at the campground. We'll be at the smokeout. We could use a private chef for the staff. It's not a problem. So give me a shout out and drop me an email, and we'll see if we can make that happen for you. Very proud of you, though. Awesome. Good job. Okay, Jennifer from Ludington, Michigan. I traded my husband for a Harley. That's a good one. That seems to be a trend here lately. I've gotten more than a few emails about that stuff. And, hey, you got to do what you got to do. But sometimes it's nice to have them around, unless, well, we're not even going to get into that. So, no, all positive stuff, Okay, Neil from Sarasota, Florida. I won on a scratch-off ticket and bought an old shovel head. Well, there you go. Now, see, that's something to do with lottery winnings. If you're going to do something, buying an old shovel head can't hurt. Then you got to get an old pan head, an old knuckle head, and keep going back, because I have a newfound respect for antique motorcycles, especially total loss oil systems. But I love them all. It's definitely fun. And then Madeline. Here's another one. I quit my job, ditched my dirtbag boyfriend, and rode 2,000 miles last month to clear my head. That'll do it. That'll definitely clear your head. It'll clear a lot of other things too. Maybe your bank account too, if you're not careful, I guess. So, well, I'm happy for all of you. Thanks for your 5 good things. Those were some of the more off the wall ones. So we picked those. Okay, next is our Ask Athena segment. Yay. We like that. We like to see what the questions are for that. So this week was a good one. I enjoyed this one because for me it's really good. And I didn't put any pictures up of it, but you can see it on my Facebook and on the Athena After Dark. It's all on there. The question is from Kurt, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And he says, I saw your Doobie Brothers concert post on Facebook with your boy last week. Who is your favorite band? Okay, well, that's kind of that's a mean one for putting me on the spot like that. You saw me at a concert, and then you're going to ask me who my favorite band is. Okay, the boy is my grandson, Baron, and I did put his picture up here because, well, I have them all on my phone, and I was in a rush, so you can see them on my Facebook post. They're really cool. There's some video there that was really good. The best part of that was I had a friend who actually showed up and surprised me at the seat. You know who you are. I love you. My favorite band. Okay, well, Doobie Brothers are top of the list. Like, that was one of my first concerts. I have to say my absolute all-time favorite band. Oh, wow. That's kind of crazy. So it's a toss-up. The Doobie Brothers and the Grateful Dead. Yeah, there's a lot, too, in there in between. So much. But, yeah, Doobie Brothers. I used to stand in line to go to those concerts, like at the South Florida Fairgrounds when I was, yeah. And my first concert was Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Jesse Coulter. So I like all gamuts. I listen to Pavarotti. I listen to rock and roll. I listen to anything and everything. It all depends on the mood. It soothes the savage beast, I think. So hopefully, Kurt, I answered your question with that. Okay, next. So now I get to push the buttons. This is always fun because I'm getting better at pushing the buttons. Okay, our cultural corner. Tonight is a book. It is The Art of Racing in the Rain. If you have pets, you'll never look at your pet the same way ever again. This book is one of my top reads. I know people don't get time anymore to read, but if you can, or if you read it on your iPad or your book, it's also in a movie. I haven't seen the movie with Milo Ventimiglia on it yet, but I heard it's pretty good. So this one's really cool because I guess if you read the description, the stories, it is told by the dog, okay? And like I said, you'll never look at your pet ever, ever, ever the same way. Garth Stein, he wrote a heart-wrenching but deeply funny and ultimately uplifting story of family, love, loyalty, and hope. That's what it says. It's a New York Times bestseller. Captivating look at the wonders and absurdities of human life as only a dog can see. When you read this book, it's crazy to have a different perspective on us as humans. One, you never look at your dog the same. And two, you have to look at how you behave, how other people behave, the things that go on around you. You have to look at that. This book it made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me mad, mad as hell, like mad. It made me happy, sad. Like I went through every gamut and then some. And then, it's just it's almost hopelessly romantic a non in a platonic way, I guess if you'd say, because the story it's crazy. So you should really read that book. It's really a good one, and that's definite for sure. Okay, so now I get to push another button. That's always good. And then so this week is my product pick of the week. Okay, this one I had on the Chicks on 66 route, and it was super good. My one, I borrowed a rain suit once on a trip because it was really rough in Alaska and it kept me warm. And I never owned a rain suit after. I didn't even have a front fender until before then. Until after that, I'm pretty sure. Um, this thing was awesome. It was $135, and not for anything. It's reflective. Like all the writing on there is reflective, and it was easy to get into and easy to get out of, which isn't very common for rain suits. There's always some gadgets or whatever. So it was really cool. I do like it, and I plan to ride the shit out of it when it's raining. But I hope that I don't have to use it a lot. So that's my product pick of the week. Go Harley-Davidson. Everybody knows I'm a Harley girl, so that's my thing. All right. We can push the buttons. Okay. So now this is where the good stuff comes in. Okay. Our guest tonight is the one and only Jasmine Kane. She is a phenomenal musician. She tours everywhere. They go around on their bus. She has videos and my hair is tied up tonight for her because I noticed in her videos she's like me. She just does this stuff, and she's so awesome. She's so very real, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, inside and out human being, and her music is absolutely phenomenal. She's hot. She's no bullshit. She'll tell you straight like it is, and I appreciate the opportunity to actually have her. So I'm going to show a couple pictures here. This is her with her band, and they're performing. So I like all the good pictures. We're going to get to some other pictures here. So let me get to it. And I got her here. I'm pushing these buttons. All right. Okay, we're going to unmute her, and then we're going to show her in the stream. There you go. Miss Jasmine.
Hey! I'm so excited to do this.
I know. I'm so happy you're here. You made my day. It's just, I've been smiling all day. Everybody's like, what are you grinning about? I'm like, oh, I got the coolest stuff going on right now.
It's been so long since we've gotten to see each other. It's been years.
I'm going to see you in Sturgis this year.
I know.
I'm making a point. I'm so happy about that.
I'm so excited. I just heard you talking about it, and I'm like, yes, I'm finally going to get a chance to see you. Awesome.
Yes, big hugs. Your hair looks fantastic.
Thanks to Marla at High Maintenance. I've been getting my hair done from the same person before she even had a salon. She was doing it in her basement, trying to raise 3 kids, and that's how long I've been going to her. Now she has one of the greatest salons in Rapid City, South Dakota. I still go to her every chance I can.
Right. Now you're in Rapid City, but you were born in Sturgis, right?
I was born in Sturgis. Right now I'm here at this this is called the Windsor Block Bar. It's not even open yet, but the owner, Justin, is right behind me and said, if you need a quiet place to sit, come sit over here and do it. And so he's so kind to let me come and hang out at his place. We're actually with the band right next door at Independent Ale House, which is also his place. He owns 4 different venues. So if you're riding through South Dakota and say you're coming up through Sioux Falls, you can stop at Monk's in Sioux Falls, and that's his place. You can come to Independent Ale House here in Rapid City, or you can go to Spearfish Public House I'm going to be doing an acoustic show there on August 10th anyway. So he's
Oh,
got 3 places that are open, and this is the Windsor Block Bar that will be open soon. So
I'm putting the Spearfish one on my calendar for sure because I have to see a show no matter what.
yeah,
So
it's just
that's
acoustic.
yeah.
It's just
I
me.
see, and I'm an acoustic. I like, you have that party all the time thing and the loud stuff, but if you can just break away and change the mood, the dynamic for just a moment, it gives you a little more calm, so you can
There's
go right back at it again.
there's nothing to hide behind. It's just that's what it is. It's so great, and I love it. And honestly, I like doing both because I get bored doing just one or just the other. So it kind of keeps me entertained. By the way, I got
Yeah,
to go back and tell you, The Art of Racing in the Rain. What an amazing book.
I love that book.
Oh
I
my God. I cried so much while I read that book. That is such a great book. I really hope
so
people read that.
I do too. I passed it on. I took mine and I wrote my name in it, and then I passed it on to a guy who worked at Childress Racing, and he passed it on to someone. It's been going around, so it's pretty cool. They
Oh, that's
actually liked it. So, and I think that it's good to share good stuff like that,
me
because it does
too.
it every gamut.
That
So,
that book and the 4 agreements are like changed my
oh
life.
yeah. See, now there you go. That's it. So I have comments here too. I got Richard Cullens, the Bling Master, Nancy Keener. Hello, everybody. The Grateful American Biker Magazine. That they definitely follow you a lot. They love all your
Fantastic.
stuff.
Yes.
They're super super cool. Okay, so I have something for you.
Oh,
Finish. You can see on the screen, right?
okay.
There you go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jasmine.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday to you. See, so I had to make sure that I could get that in there. And because yesterday was your birthday and you were driving
Yeah,
all day.
we drove
And
all
so,
day.
and you're,
So I'm celebrating today.
I love it. That's fantastic. Definitely. You deserve it for sure because you got a lot of hard work coming up.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
for
So,
sure.
all right. So, and yeah, we're just going to show that one too because I did steal that one. That was her when she was little.
My
Look,
mom.
she's so beautiful. Little, look at how beautiful she is now. And I mean, just like I love that picture. I saw that and I was like, I'm gonna dig out the one of me when I was little because it's
Do
the
it.
same. You're just like, what the hell?
My mom
Really?
was so excited to have a girl, and then I just came out like a hellion, and she was like, "Oh no, I didn't sign up for this."
Yeah. Well, you know what though, it's a thing because like we grow into personalities and then we look at it like that, but they look at it a totally different way.
Oh
Because
yeah,
my kids say the same shit, and then it's like, yeah, no, if you only knew like how you were really compared to some other kids out there in the world. Yeah, you had it going on, and they, like they turned into wonderful human beings and adults. So we can't be all bad, right?
no. Well, no, I mean, I think it was important. Like I knew at a very young age. I was 4 years old when I knew what I wanted to do, and I never strayed from that. I told my father. He asked me on my birthday every year, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna be a singer, Dad." And he was like, "That's cute." And as you get older, then he's like, "You're 12 years old now." He's like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I'm like, "Dad, I'm gonna be a rock star." And he's like, "No, no, honey." You have to get an education, you have to have a real job. And I'm like, okay. So I told him I wanted to be a veterinarian. And all he could think about was 8 years of schooling because you have to
School.
go to school a long time to be a vet and the money it would cost to do
Uh-huh.
that. He was like, "You don't want to be a vet." And I'm like, "Then I'm going to be a rock star."
Here's a guitar for Christmas. There you go, kid. So
No, he didn't want that. Like they
you
didn't
didn't want
want
it.
it. He was trying to protect me from what it was because he knew that this was like the hardest industry to be in and the most for the most part like over a long period of time pretty uh there's not a lot of shiny moments in being in a rock band. You know what I mean? Like it's good to be on stage and it's good to like when people are into what you're doing and whatnot, but for the most part you're always in debt, you're always in trouble, something's always broke down, you're.
Wow, that's
So
like being a motorcycle builder. We live lives that are on the same plane. Holy cow.
it's totally that way. That's why I was
Yeah.
like, he was just trying to protect me from a lifetime of like disappointment, I think. But I was like, I loved it. I loved the I don't know, it was just kind of like it was exciting for me because you didn't know what was coming.
Right.
it's fun to just kind of see what was coming.
Now in Sturgis, you had some music advantage, like we talked about it. So you started playing. Of course, that's one of the biggest motorcycle rallies there is. So there were good gigs to play, and that's kind of
Well,
how you jumped in, or
kind of. My brothers and I had a country band, a three-piece country band. I was 6 years old, and so we were playing like municipal bars in the country because I grew up on a cattle ranch outside of Sturgis. I was born
okay,
in Sturgis, but for the most part, like the locals that live here, they kind of rent their houses out, and for people that live out in the country, they just don't go near Sturgis during the rally. I kind of grew up thinking like you're supposed to avoid it, like it was dangerous, and there's stranger danger, and so
bikers,
I kind
yeah,
of grew up like avoiding it, thinking it was bad. And then of course the rebellious side of me was like, well, how bad could it be,
jump in,
So
right?
yeah, so my dad, I remember we had to come through town for a rodeo or something. And we pulled over at the grocery store because mom needed some things before we went out to the ranch. And I remember, I don't know how old I was, 8, 9 years old. And we pulled into the grocery store and they had this big crane with bungee jumping. And this girl was getting ready to bungee jump. And my dad was like, well, we should watch this girl jump, That's kind of exciting. So we all stood around waiting for them to get her all strapped in and ready to go. And I'd never seen anyone bungee jump before. And then right as they were getting ready to push her off, she rips her shirt off and bungee
Oh
jumps
shit!
off her. And my dad was like,
Oh my god!
out of there. He's like, no, no, don't look. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then he left me alone unattended for a minute, which is a huge mistake. And I
Yeah,
wandered into like a tattoo parlor,
booth,
and it
right?
was just full of HAs. And so it's just like all club dudes. I'm like, hey, what's up? Like I'm like 8, 9 year old little girl. Hey, what are you guys doing? And they're like, we're tattooing. Of course, I've never seen a tattoo. I'm a country girl. I didn't know. So, they're showing me their tattoos. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. And then my dad's like looking for me. He sees me in there with all these vests. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He yanks me out of there. And they're like, no, it's cool. See you later. And I was like, Dad, these guys are cool. Like, I want to hang out with these people. My
And
poor dad. Oh,
life for you changed right then.
I
That's
just,
kind of
oh
crazy.
yeah. I just saw my dad today, as a matter of fact, and I apologized all over again.
That's awesome. Hi, Dad. We
Hi,
hope
Dad.
to. That's awesome. And that's it's life on a cattle ranch can't be easy either. But the whole flip side, we usually rebel against what we're around. So, and it's cool. I mean, you turned out all right. I
Yeah,
like
no,
hanging
I
out
think
with you.
I like to think that I'm bridging a gap because in a lot of ways, I got to say that like the ranch community that I grew up in on the cattle ranch is very well, it's kind of barricaded from the rest of the world. It's not like real life. It's so
Right.
different and so like secluded from anything else. And so for me going out into the world, like I'm seeing the world like how it is. And my parents are like very like
Yeah.
little safe and secure in their little community, in their rancho community. And then I come home and like bring little gems of knowledge or things that I find along the way that I think are cool. I share ideas with my mom. She gets excited about it. My mom gets excited about it. Um, but yeah, they like to hear of my travels and where I've been and what I saw, because that's why I got into music. I wanted to see the world, and you can't travel and see the world any other way unless you can afford it, which we could not. I didn't
Right.
come from anything. So,
Right.
um, if you're going to do it, you've got to find a way to do it. And I found that through music. So I've seen a
That,
lot of the world now and so much more left to see.
that's so cool, and it's cool that your parents get to vicariously live a little through you. That is super neat. That is it opens new doors. And different stuff. So that is super cool. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to give you a big old huge hug. All right, so I have some questions. We'll get to
Okay.
the questions. All right,
Okay.
so how long have you been riding motorcycles?
Well, I've been riding motorcycles pretty much since I was maybe 19, 20. Just, because that's when I really got to know some of the people in the industry. And I felt comfortable getting on a motorcycle with somebody because honestly, I'd seen so many accidents being in Sturgis and watching people so many years. It kind of scared me to ride with someone because if they were intoxicated or whatever, I didn't want to get on and I didn't know anyone that well. So it was kind of like people that I felt comfortable with, I would get on and ride. And then the more I rode, the more confidence I got. And then uh, what I found over the years was that most of the men that I dated being on the road, they didn't really want me to get my license. They were kind of like, I don't know, they're just like afraid for me, or like they just didn't want me getting that attention or what it was, but they didn't like it. They weren't supportive of that. For so many years, I just kind of didn't want to get it because I was afraid. They made me afraid to kind of go for it. Um, and finally, I met Kevin, my husband, and he's like, "You should get your license." And so he taught me some things on motorcycle, gave me a couple pointers. Of course, I'd ridden with other people a long time, so I was pretty familiar with anything, most of it anyway. But he made me more confident on a bike. And then I took the test in Newport Richey, Florida, and it was right after Daytona Bike Week in 2020. So I left Daytona Bike Week, and the very next day they were shutting down like the vendors on Main Street due to COVID. And I was already in Newport Richey starting this course. And since the course had already begun, they let us finish that course, and then they shut down the whole riding thing too due to COVID. So I was like the first class that ever happened at Newport Richey. I was in that class, and I got my license first time through. Like I was like, thank goodness. And then they shut the whole thing down, and I was the last class that got my license.
That's crazy. We have
But it
some
was
we have some cool comments. Everybody's like, "Go Kevin, go Kevin." That's awesome.
Yay, Kevin. Yeah, he actually helped me get my confidence up to go take that test. And that year, we actually got a sponsor through Fran Hosh Motorcycle Attorneys,
Okay.
and she was like, "If you want to take this, I'll sponsor you to go do it." She's
Oh,
like, and then we can
cool.
film it and just show what it's like for just a girl that's never really ridden a bike on her own to go through the whole process. Because I'm a
Right.
really new rider.
I think
So
that's fantastic, and I would support any people who any companies who would do that. It's just an incredible thing because it does open up a whole variety of perspective. From the back you have perspective, but like you said too, sometimes if your old man wants to have a couple drinks and you're not comfortable, well, I mean, when you're with somebody for a while, it's trust, but
sure.
you still want to be accountable for your own actions,
Right,
not
right.
have to use someone else's dereliction to,
You want to know the truth? I've ridden on so many fenders for so many years. I'm done with the fenders. My back is like, no
I
more.
love you. I love you. And listen, that used to be I love my foot pegs all the way up my knees and my ears. Like
Yeah.
I rode like that till like wow, my late 30s, But I mean I like to ride on the back. I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to ride on the
It's
back, but
nice to just sit back there and daydream, while
yes.
somebody's riding to see all the scenery and just kind of close your eyes. Hell, I fall asleep on the back of bikes all the time.
I don't know. People say that all the time. I don't know how the hell you can do that.
I mean, I
I
just you just lock your hands around somebody and just kind of leaning forward with your head on their back, and I like unless they make any real sudden moves, like you're just
I
asleep.
I don't think I've ever trusted anybody that much. Okay, next question. So what's your favorite ride, motorcycle and route? Like what?
Oh, okay. So I'm still pretty new at this, so haven't gotten to do a lot of routes because I'm on the road with the band and the gear all the time. So the only time I get to ride is when I go home to Nashville. But in Nashville, there are such great roads in Nashville, like outside of area. You can go like 15 minutes outside of downtown and like have the most beautiful experiences. Waterfalls, rivers. Loretta Lynn's ranch is out there, just only like 70 miles outside of Nashville. It's beautiful. That river that runs through there is gorgeous. Um, there's a couple things, but I gotta say this, like to ride your motorcycle downtown Broadway in Nashville, like in the middle of the night where all the neon is going and like all the people are walking and there's the woo girls as we call them, all the bachelorettes, and they're like woo
Yeah.
woo.
Yeah.
And there's like pedal taverns and all the people walking, and everybody's trying their hardest to be the cool one on the block because they're walking up and
Yeah.
down the street. And then you ride up on the Harley, because I ride a Sportster, and so
Okay.
you ride up on your Sportster, and you're just like sitting there, and everybody's just like, oh my god, that's crazy cool. And you're like, yeah, and they're like doing the thing, like rev it up, and you're like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty cool. Other than that, for getting outside town, Beeman Park is gorgeous near Ashland City. It's gorgeous.
Okay. And then of course your favorite ride is your Sportster, I'm sure, for right now, right?
It's kind of all I got right now that's rideable.
And just so you know, if you can ride a Sportster, that's the most top-heavy motorcycle in the
I
world.
know.
So if you can ride one of those, you can ride anything, a full dresser, the whole 9 yards.
I learned on a Sportster with an intake leak, so it dies
Oh,
all the time and
yeah.
chokes. So I'm
Stalling.
used to
Oh, yeah.
like it dying and starting it rolling on. Yeah, that's my life.
That's cool. I'm in Florida, so I've been in Florida my whole life. So on some of these rides, my biggest challenge is I have to go uphill at a stoplight.
Uh,
Oh, I get so perplexed. I'm like, okay, don't anybody look at me. I have to figure this out. And I've been riding a long time, and I'm still like, shit, look at that hill. And I should be like, I got the brake, the throttle. I'm just like, okay, that's fine. But you get through it. Okay, so this is the good one. So who is your childhood hero?
my dad.
Yeah, and that's especially for a lot of ladies, that's a thing. My dad was my hero. There's
Yeah.
my dad and my Uncle Larry, like those two were. My Uncle Larry, I just talked to him the other day, and he said something, and I was telling him something, and uh, he said, he goes, you had a rough life as a kid, and I'm like, yeah, it was a life, and he goes, yeah, no, you lived in a 6x8 travel trailer your whole life. Your parents were hippies, went around, because I was at Woodstock. Like, I
Oh,
was in a basket. I was still in diapers, and my parents tripped for 3 days. My mom said, well, you were fed and you were clean when I came down. And I'm like, oh, shit, are you kidding? No wonder. Like, there's some shit that goes on with all that. So, yeah, there's a whole hippie vibe to it. But he says to me, he goes, and the shit that your parents did, like, all of it combined, he's like, that's why you're very strong. He
yeah.
goes, everybody else, they're a bunch of crybabies. Don't listen to that shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. If you put it like that, and the same thing, like, growing up on a cattle farm, you're not in the middle of everything. You're not in the middle of, you don't run to the store. You don't ride around the corner in your car to go get a gallon of milk. You're going 50 or 80 miles to get to the damn grocery
I
store.
rode my horse to school every day, even in winter. Like, it was cold.
See, I'm a horse girl. See, I used to barrel race, so I love that.
Yeah,
I think
cool.
that's fantastic.
I like to rope.
You like to rope? I always wanted to learn. You'll have to teach me that.
Okay,
So,
I'll teach you.
and I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna ride up in the summer when you're not doing a gig, and
Okay.
we're gonna ride down. We're gonna ride down in
Let's
Nashville.
go.
Go around.
Let's
I'm
go.
all ready for that. I got mountain roads. I'm getting better at, so it's cool.
Perfect.
Okay, so now your motorcycle hero. Who would that be?
My motorcycle hero? My first, God, I've got a few. Amy Irene White. I don't know if you know her, but she used to write for Easy Rider magazine.
Yes, ma'am.
And one
I
of
do.
the first people I ever saw just ride the shit out of a motorcycle was Amy. It was intense. And I was like, that bitch is bad. I just wanted
awesome.
to see a cigarette hanging out of her mouth and
Yeah.
wet ass hair just flying in the wind. She's just like, arms out, just fucking smoking her cig, and like, oh my God, she was the coolest. I remember hanging out the side of my car, like filming her almost upside down, just like and she just ride right by me, and I was like, wow, that's rad.
That's awesome.
Sasha Mullins was another one.
Sasha, I love Sasha.
Yeah, because she would come to those gigs and I thought any girl that could just independently like load up her motorcycle and ride out for a weekend somewhere was just cool to have that kind of independence. I was like, wow, that takes a lot of guts.
Fantastic human being, wonderful woman, and always on the scene. She always had a cool perspective on it, like her photos, everything.
Yeah, those were my first two that I met that I was just like, wow. But then I met you in Sturgis, and you were wrenching on that bike. You were building that bike. And I was like, it's one thing to ride a motorcycle, but it's another to build it and know how the mechanisms work and how to fix them on the fly. Like, that's you. you're the girl that can get it done. Like no matter what happens out there on the road, you're like, oh, here, let me have a crack at that. Boom, ready to go.
I, I appreciate that. And I come from an era where, it was ass, gas, or grass. Nobody rides for free. So when somebody says to you, well, if your motorcycle's broken and you need a ride to get it, need a truck to get it, what are you giving up? It's like, yeah, nothing. I will fix that shit myself. And that was like really young. So that was the whole, and then some guys were cool about it. They'd be like, hey, go check that or go look at that and get the manual. So, and then I got a job in a motorcycle shop and that was it. I was like, okay, I get my parts at cost. And then I went and worked at the restaurant so I could pay my rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So then who is your, this is the good one because I added questions for you because it's
hey, quick heads up. My battery just came on my computer. There's no outlets here.
That's okay. Hey, listen, we're gonna get through it. So, how long have you been playing music?
My whole life. I was 6 years old in my first band. My brothers and I had a country band, and it was, pretty. It's a bunch of kids playing country music. It wasn't great. I remember catching my brother in the bath. He came out of the bathroom one time. He was all sniffling. He was crying. I was like, "What's wrong?" And he goes, "I was in the bathroom and this guy said that we sucked." And I was like, "We do suck."
That's awesome.
Right, dude.
That's too funny. And now look at you. You're awesome.
But we were still getting paid to suck. So, hey, jokes on that guy.
There's definitely joke on him. Okay, so who is your music hero?
Wow, my older brother probably because he taught me what I know about playing. I mean, I've never had a lesson. I don't know anything about like reading notes or anything of that sort. Okay. So I just hear something played and I'm like, oh, it sounds like it should be like this, and then you just play it. Like that's it.
You hear it. That's awesome. Okay. So then what's your absolute favorite song?
Oh man, I can't pick a favorite song.
Okay.
I know what song I want played. Like if I'm like having a near death experience or like I'm flying off of a canyon bank or something like that. It's like some crazy ass destruction. There's a song from Devin Townsend called Kingdom. And I was like, because I've driven through a tornado with like the whole band and like all the shit's just getting uprooted and crazy. And that song was playing and I was like, this is awesome. This is how I would want to go out.
Okay.
But honestly, like the song that I listened to that I wish I would have written my whole life is Dream On from Aerosmith.
Oh yeah.
It's so honest,
I definitely have to agree with that. That's an honest song that's a good description of it. Okay. So what's your favorite road food? You're on the road a lot, so.
Oh God, really? Ooh, damn, there's not a lot of good road food. I'm kind of getting over the whole like radiation burgers from a gas station. That's what I always call them anyway.
Okay.
Radiation.
But the Conoco station in Sturgis, just under the bridge, that's still good food. It used to be.
Dude, the Quick Trip. If you go by a Quick Trip, like any of the gas stations that have a Quick Trip, they're basically a grocery store.
Okay.
And now the new Buc-ee's are all like grocery stores, so you can find some good stuff that's healthy. I prefer to cook. I actually just made a bunch of kimchi.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was like my first time making it, but it was a total slam dunk. And now we eat that and everything. And all the boys suffer, but I feel awesome. So
that's cool. That is fantastic. I like that one.
I like the cook.
So what are your two most cherished motorcycle and music memories?
Ooh. Well, I did the long road one time from with the horseback street choppers, and they were doing I did Smoke Out West, which is in Cottonwood, Arizona, and then we rode all the way from there to Rockingham, North Carolina, to do Smoke Out East, and that was like their 10th year or something like that for the long road, and I did 4 shows along the way, and to me, like I felt like at the end of that trip, like that was my that was your gold star, right? That was like, nice. Okay, you're doing it. You're doing the thing.
Okay. And it's coming back too. The Smokeout is back in September.
I heard that. I'm actually booked at Belgium Fest, which is the same weekend, and it's in West Virginia, so it's just north of there. But So I can't make Smoke Out East, but
We're gonna work it out for next year. For
all right,
definitely.
we'll see what we can do for next.
We have to see if we can put in a good word for that one.
We know some people. Wink, wink.
Yeah, we can wink, 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 wink.
But that was one for sure, and another one that was just so like authentic and real was loading up my entire band in the trailer to go to Phoenix, Arizona Bike Week to open for Heart because yeah, and it was
really?
like it was paying nothing. Like you're not gonna get paid. You're not getting
it's
anything.
hard.
Right. But I had no money too. I was just broken.
Oh, I lost her. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, well, we might have to resume that one because we lost her. And that's okay though. Like I love Jasmine. I could talk to her all day. So I'm gonna mark off where we stopped with the questions because I'm gonna film it and then I'll make sure that I go ahead and I get her to tape the rest of that because we want the rest of the answers to that question, those questions. Okay. So, all right. She was telling us her 2 stories. Okay. Well, sometimes you're gonna have that, okay, because she's on the road. She's getting ready for Sturgis, like a lot of us are. We do have some comments. Lisa Pearson, I see you. Jennifer Sames Lucci, my songbird. Allison Hale, Shaylee. Hi, everybody. I'm glad you guys are watching. Thank you so much. Excuse me. All right. So we're just gonna move on to the I'm gonna film it, I promise, because again, that's a good one. She's got some good stuff, and I love her so much, Miss Jasmine. I'm lucky to have a lot of good people. So okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do my 5 good things. That's what we're gonna get tonight, right? All right. So pushing buttons, doing good. Let's do wow, hey, I'm at a loss for words. That never happens. So anybody that's watching, just make sure that you saw it here, because I am never, ever, 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 ever at a loss for words. Well, not very often. So okay, I'm using my cheat sheet because I can't see the computer. I'm telling you what. Oh, she's back. I love it. I'm so lucky. You're fantastic. I'm gonna find you. I see you. Oh, look.
I came back. I got my phone.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Look, that's so cool. I said I'm gonna tape it. I'm gonna get her to do it. We're gonna start right where we left off. So that's super cool. I like that light. You have nice cascading light.
They have these. I can show you with my phone. This place is really cool. This is a like I said, it's gonna be a whiskey bar, like a bourbon and whiskey bar, high-end bourbon and whiskey bar. So let me show you their backdrop. This hasn't even opened yet, but look.
Oh wow. That's a drinker's paradise there.
Isn't that gorgeous?
That is
I just like the lights. And
the lights.
It has a secret door.
Oh.
It has a secret door in the bookshelf. Don't tell.
Okay. I won't tell. You're so awesome. Cool. You're too much. So okay, so you get to give me your second most cherished story. That's where
I was like I said, I had no money. We're going to open for Heart. And I just told the band, I'm like, well, I'll pay you whatever we make, but I don't know how I'm going to pay for fuel, right? I don't know how I'm going to get there. So I had just enough money to get us there. And I had built out the front of our trailer with bunks and a window AC unit. And so it's hot as hell in Arizona. And we're in there just sweating, dude. Like this AC unit cannot keep up. And we're just dying in there. But we made it. I drove nonstop. We didn't stop for anything other than fuel. And I got there and they gave us this little, out in the middle of a field parking spot. And so our opening for Heart was actually a really long show. It was like a 4-hour show. Okay. And we were out there, we're just dying. It was hot. And I went to go set up my merchandise in the merchandise tent, which was next to the stage, because that was going to be my saving grace of how to make enough money to get home. And so I had it all set up, and Heart's merchandise girl came over and she goes, "You can't be set up here. This is our merch spot. You got to go somewhere else." So she made me tear it all down. So I tore it down and I took it to the other side of the stage and just set it up on the ground, like whatever. And I did this really long show. I took a couple short breaks and I sold merch. And the lady came over to me when I came off break and I went to go sell merch. And she goes, "Don't even bother setting this up." She's like, "Nobody buys anything here. They're not going to buy your shit." And I was like, I have no choice but to try because I don't know how I'm going to get home otherwise. I just don't know. And so she's like, "Whatever." And she walks off. So I mean, but I was playing this show like I'm on my deathbed. Like I'm giving you everything I got because I have to do something to get home. And it translated because the people just started lining up and I was racking merch. I was selling t-shirts. I was selling CDs. I was selling everything. I sold out of everything, sold it all. And and it's funny because when I got done, I counted up the money that I made and I spent $1,600 in fuel to get there and back. And I made $1,650. That was exactly what I made.
That's the story of my life too. You can't make that shit up either.
You can't.
You just can't make it up.
You can't. And the funny thing was I just went to a brand new bar in Nashville the other day called Fable. If you're ever in Nashville, go to Fable. It's like the best drinks and the coolest things. The whole premise of the bar is to make up stories, but they could be believable, but they're not. They're just made up. And the owner just comes in and starts telling you these stories that he's making up on the fly, and they sound believable. He's quite the entertainer himself. But he introduces me to the main subject of the story, which is a girl that just happens to be a bartender there. And so I meet her, and she's like, "What's your name?" And I said, "Jasmine Kane." And she goes, "You're the girl." I'm like, What? She's like, "Did you play at Arizona Bike Week once?" And I was like, "Yeah, I opened for Heart." She goes, You're the girl." She's like, "You only came there one time. I was bartending." And she's like, "I told everybody for years after that, like, there was this girl that came and played and she was just slaying it, just like kicking everyone's ass, and like packed up her shit and left and drove away. And I never knew who she was or where she was. And now you're standing here at my bar that I work at." And I'm like, "That's insane." So
How cool
hilarious
is
how it
that?
comes full
That's
circle.
awesome.
I know. It always comes full circle.
That is definitely, and I'm a true believer in that.
Yep.
Sometimes for some reason the good stuff that you put out, it takes quite a long time for it to come back.
Sometimes, yeah. But I think that the powers that be know that I'm very impatient. Like they know how impatient I am. So they just they're like, "Oh man, this girl can't wait. We're just gonna give it to her now."
That's
I'm too
cool.
impatient.
And the universe puts things together too, because it's supposed to happen when it's supposed to happen. And for some reason,
Totally.
yeah, that's how that goes. Okay.
But those were like the motorcycle and music things that just blew my mind. I was like, "I'm doing it."
I love both and Heart. Like, I mean, okay, growing up, Ann and Nancy Wilson, like those were the rocker chicks. Like your Pat Benatar, you were just like, okay, like this is it.
I read him very much. Like, my God.
All right. So if you can hear, I think you froze there. There you go. I can see you. There you go. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So if money didn't matter and you could take a road trip on your motorcycle anywhere, where would that be and with who?
Well, I was told that when I got.
Oh, I lost her again. That's okay. We might get her back. So let's just see. Let's see if we can get her back. So we have the beautiful Miss Jasmine Kane. See, and that's the things that you get on the fly, audio, technical, whatever. I'm learning. I'm doing pretty good. I'm liking it. So this is Miss Jasmine Kane. You have to see her any of her shows at Jasmine Kane Rocks on Facebook. You can follow her. You have to see her videos. She is funny, just an absolute joy to watch and listen to the things, her perspective on things, how she does things, and then her life. She does videos off her front porch. It all natural. She's just a beautiful person, but she is an awesome performer. So got to make sure when you get a chance, see one of her shows. She is on the big stage in all kinds of places. You can see her in Sturgis all over. These are some of my favorite pictures of her. I love those pictures. She's so absolutely gorgeous. And I have to share my gorgeous friends with all my gorgeous people. So look at that. Let's see. So, and her phone probably died too, because that's okay. And there we go. That's Miss Jasmine. Oh, hey, I might have her back. I get it. Did I get you back? Hang on, I'm showing your picture there. Let's see if I can find you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
great.
what happened there.
Okay.
But I used to tell everybody that once I got my motorcycle license, I was getting on my motorcycle. I just wanted to cook beans in the desert somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know why. To be able to cook beans over a campfire was the greatest thing to me. I don't know why. But now I've seen people riding in different countries and stuff, in Europe, and I don't know. That looks pretty badass too. I wouldn't mind.
You start with beans in the desert, right? You do the whole Easy Riders thing, build a fire, camp around, have the beans, and then you ride to the airport and have your bike transported on the plane to wherever Europe, and you go there.
Honestly,
that would work. Listen,
I think riding motorcycles in Ireland. With that?
Oh, that would be cool.
Can you hear me?
Ireland? Yes. Can you hear me? Am I breaking up? Are you breaking up?
No, I got you.
How about? Can you hear me now?
Nope.
I love that. Can you hear me now? That's pretty good. Yeah, you're breaking up a little, but I got you still. I'm gonna borrow one of your audio people one of these days to teach me some stuff about all this stuff. So, okay. Alrighty. And I got her. You're unfroze now.
Sweet.
Try it out. Let's see. Can I hear you?
Hello.
There you go. Okay. So, all right.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello. Hold on. Let's make sure I got you. Okay. So, if you can hear me, maybe you could tell us your 5 good things.
5 good things. Okay. First of all, I'm still here. That's good. I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't think I'd make it this far. The second good thing is I found someone who loves this, riding motorcycles and playing music as much as I do, and is willing to come with me and be with me on the road. So it's nice to have a partner on the road. And somebody that supports you completely in what you're doing. So thanks, Kevin. The third good thing is next year is my 20th year of being Jasmine effing Kane. So it's a big celebration year next year. And I have big plans for that. Fourth thing, I just bought a giant RV. So I've never been more comfortable traveling in my life. It's no longer squished up in a seat in a van. I can actually, lay down once in a while, take a nap. Crazy, amazing, worth it. And my final thing is, I'm home right now. I'm home, the place, the place of my birth, and I'm glad to be surrounded by family and friends, and the rest of my extended family is on their way here, and we'll be celebrating soon during Sturgis. So I'm excited to see everybody.
That not many people know.
I'm the worst at this because I don't ever see myself the same way that other people see me.
I understand.
So
that.
I would have to probably just repeat something that someone had said to me, because I wouldn't normally think that. But the reason that I got involved in music, and the reason that I stayed in it this long, was because I wanted to write songs that could change a person's life in 3.5 minutes. So when you write a song and someone's in a certain state of mind and they turn on that song and it completely changes the way that they are thinking or encourages them to do something a little bit better for themselves, or maybe that things aren't so bad, or that even that you just have a friend or somebody that relates and gets it where you're at right now, that's a powerful thing. To be able to write music and words that change a person's life in 3.5 minutes is a powerful thing. And that's what I do.
You are fantastic. I can't tell you how, I mean, like, absolutely, that is one of the most wonderful things that a lot of us really do know how wonderful you are, but to know that that's how what drives you, excuse me, and that's what moves you, and that's your goal is to do that for people. It's fantastic. I do want to say thank you again. I'm so happy. I can't wait to see you in Sturgis. I'm grateful that you participated tonight. And at Jasmine Kane rocks. You guys can find her, watch her videos, all that good stuff. I love you. I'm
I
so
love you
happy.
too.
And you deserve all the successes that you get. And the tour bus is going to be huge. And the Prevost, I'm going to pick out all the decor for you. I'll drive.
Please.
I got it. I'm ready.
Yes, I'm into that. Let's do it.
All right. I love you, sweetheart. Enjoy
love
your
you
birthday
too.
dinner. Tell the band I said hello. Give Kevin big hugs and kisses. And tell your parents I said hey.
I will do that. Thank you so
I'll
much.
see you soon. All right. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. Hey, that's Jasmine Kane. Okay, now I gotta figure out how to get back to the buttons. I love these buttons. The buttons are fun. There we go. Okay, so, all right. That was fantastic. I love all the little glitches because I'm learning stuff, so that I appreciate you all having patience and bearing along with us. I know we're getting close to our about hour up. So that was Jasmine Kane. She's fantastic. You have to see her. You have to watch her videos. Just great, great people. I'm surrounded by wonderful people. I'm so lucky. Okay, so I have my 5 good things here. I'm gonna do it right now. All right. So my 5 good things for tonight. And I have the button for that, but I don't even think we need to get there too much, do we? Well, possibly. I'm just going to read them. Just going to go for it. What the hell? All right. So my ability to smile big with my heart, even when it's a struggle to do it. Okay. That's one of my 5 good things. I learned this week that I have to make it a point to do that. And it's okay. And it'll all be good. All right. So 2, I'm going to Sturgis to work with my good friends, ride motorcycles, inspire people any way I can. What the hell is there? I am a lucky girl. There's just, that's, you dream your whole life about being able to do stuff like that. Well, at least us biker girls did. So it's cool. I can't even tell you. Okay, 3, I feel loved by so many incredible people, and I'm truly over the moon, and I'm appreciative. So I do know that, and that's good things. I'm like, that makes me warm inside. Of course, my family, friends, and the friendships that are made daily. And then, number 5 is always being right here, right now, doing this little show, being here with you guys. So that's my 5 good things. Okay. And then we are going to go ahead and go to my afterthought, and we will just be ready to be done for the evening so I can get ready for Sturgis stuff. I'm collecting prizes for the magazine for the bike show, so I'm working on that. It's kind of funny. Okay, so here we go. Here's my afterthought. Okay, things aren't always easy, and at times life may seem to have more planned than we care for. That's definite. I understand my life resembles a "you can't make this shit up" movie, and I get the struggle and the constant unknown dash with an amount of what the fuck, because what the fuck, like, for real. And I wrote all this down because this is a hell of an afterthought. Okay, so I'm just going to read it. So when it gets overwhelming, which it does for everyone at some point, I remember that it is always my choice in how I react to things. My daily goal has to be the best version of myself. That's my thing. I want to be the best version of myself. So I hope everybody else can make that choice to be the best version of themselves. It in the long run, it's going to pay off. Do my I do my best every day. So um, again, reaction is all of it. Okay, so this one, that being my best version of myself has to be the best use of my time. So I know that. I'm also practicing understanding, and I don't mean understanding of people. I literally am practicing understanding all the messed up shit that I encounter. It's just crazy. So I'm learning to understand those things, how it happens, why it happens, cause and effect kind of thing. It's crazy. As you get older, you have to look at that. You're young, you don't give a shit about any of that. Cause and effect. How does shit end up like that? So that's a thing. Um, I do always do my best with people. And so the understanding the other end of it is definitely something that I think we should all reflect on. So understanding the messed up shit that's going on around me. So that requires patience, compassion, kindness, perseverance. Shit gets heavy and everyone gets weighed down. The hard part is filling your soul. Okay. So a lot of times I make reference to my kids. I say, like when everything in the world drains me, like work and home and all the things and everything's taking from me, but nothing ever stops to fill it back up. Put back what you take out, it'll leave you empty. So you have to do things to fill your soul. Like I do. I love kids, pets, old people. We always talk about that. Motorcycles. I like making people happy. I like to see people smile. Anything I could do to do that. So, to fill yourself up. So if you can relate to this, right? Just stop for a minute with a big smile. Smile from your heart. Do it not for anyone else or a group of people, but do it for yourself. Just do it for yourself, okay? And remember to be kind to yourself and others because it matters. So that's my afterthought. It was really long because, wow, what a hell of a thought. And I had to write all that down. I couldn't remember it all. Okay, everybody. So please follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube. Well, I can turn off this button here. I can do it. I'm having fun. Okay. All right. So, yeah, there you go. I'm going to get a producer. I'm working on it. I'm close. I'm so close. I had good numbers this month. So, all right. So there it is. At Athena After Dark Productions, YouTube, Athena After Dark. The website's almost done. I'm a one-legged woman in an ass whooping contest lately, so I'm doing my best. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube. After we get 100 subscribers, we get our own name, like we get our custom name, Athena After Dark. We'd love to do that. So, okay. And then stay tuned as we get better at all this. I promise. It's getting better. Okay. Love to all. Good night. Chopper on, people. Chopper on. It's definitely a thing. All right. So thank you to everybody who participated, all your comments, the magazines, the followers. I am grateful to everybody who's going to read and watch later. And I'll see you next week and with a very special guest. All right. All right. Don't forget Palm Beach, Harley-Davidson, Thursday night, July 28th, ladies. And then Sturgis, 6th through 13th. And Smoke Out, September. I'll have updates for all of you. Have a great, great night. All right. Love to you all.